At first glance, he looked like a chubby guy who loves ramen, but there was a $1 billion bounty on his head. It turned out that this chubby guy was a legendary killer, feared by all criminals and admired by all assassins. But one day he fell in love, left his business and got married, had a child, and became a shop owner. However, despite the extra weight, his fighting skills hadn't gone anywhere. Moreover, once he burns enough calories, he returns to his former murderous form. After the wedding, he opened a family store, and at first, he led a quiet life until the appearance of one young man disrupted this tranquility. One day, while picking up a dart from the ground, the boy dropped ink from his backpack, which stained the pants of a passing customer. The enraged man was about to teach the boy a lesson with his fists. At this moment, our hero intervened instantly. The thought of sticking a pencil into the carotid artery flashed through his head, but it remained just a fleeting fantasy. However, this mental scene was caught by a guy sitting nearby named Shin, a former subordinate of our hero, who has the ability to read thoughts. Shin came to persuade his former boss to return to his old life. It seemed unbelievable that the once terrifying killer was now leading such a simple life. When Shin reached for a cigarette, it was suddenly cut. The hero pointed to the no smoking sign hanging behind. Such a lightning-fast reaction shocked him. It was like a reminder, even though I've gotten fat, I can still finish you off at any moment. As he was leaving, he reflected, in 5 years, the boss has gotten fat, but he still remains incredibly cool. He really wanted to work with him again. But our hero only aspired to an ordinary life. At this moment, the head of the organization called. It turned out that Shin was sent to kill his former boss, but he objected that the overweight man was no longer a threat. However, the boss insisted, leaving the organization cannot be forgiven, he must die. Cornered, Shin decided to act on his own. The next day, he came to the store early, the time for killing had begun. Entering, Shin immediately fired, but the boss incredibly deflected the bullet. Then he threw ice cream, and while Shin was distracted, he managed to take cover behind a shelf. At this distance, Shin couldn't read his thoughts. The boss quickly pulled out a candy and, using a rubber band, launched a rapid attack. Shin was rendered completely helpless under this onslaught. Trying to get around the shelf for a counterattack, he didn't even have time to aim. He was knocked down by the thrown ice cream. Realizing he wouldn't survive like this, Shin tried to change position, but the boss was already behind him and delivered a crushing kick.